Hello, everybody. It is great to connect with you again. Thank you for joining us for this broadcast. This is our third refresh message this week. Today is Friday, December 4th. I'm Pastor Steve Green. We're talking about what a wonderful high priest that we have. In Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 10, it says this, "For this is the covenant." This is God talking. In fact, the writer of Hebrews is quoting Jeremiah. "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind and write them on their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people." So he's talking about covenant. And so we read about confession in the book of Hebrews. We read about our high priest in the book of Hebrews. And we read here about the covenant that we have with God. And these are all different references to the same thing, and that is that we are having a particular kind of relationship with God. And so our confession concerns the matters of the covenant. Whatever the covenant says, those are the things that we are confessing. Jesus, as we have been reading, Jesus is a high priest who is able to save us to the uttermost. He's perfectly adapted to our needs. Whatever it is that you present to God, there's no problem that is too big. He is perfectly adapted to whatever it is that you or I need help with. It's therefore our responsibility to hold on to our confession. And the confession, as we've been talking about, is according to the terms of the covenant. So here are some things that we could be confessing. And of course, there's unlimited things we could be confessing. Well, I shouldn't say unlimited. It's limited by the terms of the covenant. So there's going to be hundreds of things that we can say. Here's just a few examples, and I'm sure that in your life you can discover many, many more examples from the Bible of things to confess. Here's one, Psalm 91 and verse 2, "I will say of the Lord." Well, that's even leading us on quite a bit there, isn't it? In a good way, leading us on is telling us what to say. "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress." That's what He does for me. It's what He does for you. He will be a refuge for you. He will be a fortress for you. That is good news. And so it's good to confess that. And that's what the psalmist is saying. "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge." Not is going to be, not I want Him to be, not wouldn't it be nice if He was, but simply to state it as a fact. He is my refuge and my fortress. And then the psalmist goes on to state or say or confess what He does. And he says, "My God, in Him will I trust." And so that is a good confession. I trust in God. As simple as that is, it's a good thing to say. It releases grace to us, help and strength, in order that we would do exactly that. A few more scriptures. Psalm 46, 1-2. "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear." So one part of it is what God does. He's our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. And then there's a response from us. "I will not fear, even though the earth be removed, though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea." Isaiah 54, verse 13 in the Amplified, "And all your children shall be disciples, taught by the Lord and obedient to His will. And great shall be the peace and undisturbed composure of your children." We can confess that about our children. We can confess that about ourselves, because we are children of God. "I am taught by the Lord. I am obedient to His will." My children are taught by the Lord, and they are obedient to His will. Finally, Hebrews 13, verse 6, "So we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear what man shall do to me." Have a great weekend, everybody, and we hope to see you soon.